India's history is like a vast, intricate tapestry woven from ancient myths, empires, invasions, revolutions, and rebirths. It stretches over millennia, beginning with prehistoric settlements and evolving through a succession of powerful civilizations and cultural transformations. To understand India is to walk through time itself. Our journey begins in the northwestern regions of the subcontinent, where one of the world's earliest urban civilizations flourished along the banks of the Indus River. Cities like Harappa showcase sophisticated planning with grid-like streets, advanced drainage systems, and standardized weights and measures. Though their script remains undisclosed, their artifacts hint at a complex society engaged in a trade, agriculture, and spiritual practices. By 1300 BCE, the Indus cities declined, perhaps due to climatic shifts or shifting rivers. A new era began with the migration of Hindu people to the northern plains. The Vedic age, named after the sacred Vedas composed during this period, was the rise of a pastoral and then agrarian society centered on rituals, hymns, and early Hindu philosophy. Tribal chieftains grew into monarchs, and powerful kingdoms emerged in the gigantic plains. Religious and philosophical thought blossomed. Around the 6th century BCE, the Mahavira questioned the existing order and promoted paths of nonviolence, asceticism, and enlightenment. Maurya and Gupta empires. In 321 BCE, Chandragupta Maurya founded the Maurya Empire, India's first large-scale empire, uniting much of the subcontinent. His grandson, Ashoka the Great, after a bloody conquest of Kalinga, embraced Buddhism and spread its teachings across Asia. Under Ashoka, the empire reached moral and administrative heights, with edicts carved into stone pillars across the land. Centuries later, Gupta Empire heralded a classical golden age. Mathematics, astronomy, arts, and literature thrived. Aryabhata calculates the value of pi and proposed the heliocentric model. Kalidasa's poetry flourished, and the concept of zero entered mathematical thinking. Hinduism also took a more defined shape during this period, with temples and epics like the Mahabharata gaining prominence. Medieval India and the coming of Islam. As Gupta Empire declined, regional kingdoms emerged. The Cholas in the south expanded trade and built grand temples in the country. Meanwhile, the north experienced waves of invasion from Central Asia. From the 8th century onwards, Islam rulers entered India, bringing new administrative systems, architecture, and culture. By the 12th century, Delhi Sultanates, a series of Muslim dynasties, ruled northern India. They introduced Persian arts, architecture, and Sufi mysticism, which blended with local traditions. A new chapter began in 1526, where Babur, a descendant of Timur, defeated the Delhi Sultan and founded the Mughal Empire. His grandson, Akbar the Great, expanded the empire and sought harmony among faiths, marrying princesses and inviting scholars of all religions to his court. His policy made him a beloved figure. The Mughals brought unmatched architectural glory and administrative reforms. With the Mughal decline, regional powers like Mysore Kingdom rose to prominence. Meanwhile, European trading companies, the Portuguese, Dutch, French, and especially the British established coastal settlements. The British East India Company, originally just a trading entity, gradually became a political force, taking advantage of the Indian divisions, and they won the Battle of Plassey in 1757, signaling the start of colonial dominance. 1858, after the revolt of the 1857, a major uprising against company rule, the British Crown took direct control. India became the jewel in the crown of the British Empire, supplying raw materials and serving as a market for British goods. Railways, telegraphs, and Western education were introduced, but Indian industries suffered and famines blocked the land. During this period, social reformers like Rajaram and Chandra fought for education, women's rights, and caste reforms. Nationalist sentiments grew. In 1885, the Indian National Congress was founded. The early 20th century saw revolutionary activities alongside moderate politics. Then came Mahatma Gandhi, who transformed the freedom struggle with his philosophy of nonviolence and civil disobedience. Mass movements like the Salt March, Quit India movement, and boycott of British goods galvanized millions. Amid growing communal tensions, the subcontinent was partitioned in 1947. India became independent, but the cost of immense bloodshed and the creation of Pakistan. The Constitution adopted in 1950 guaranteed fundamental rights and equality. Scientific institutions, dams, and industrial hubs were built. However, challenges remained: poverty, linguistic conflicts, and wars with neighbors. 1990s, economic liberalization transformed India into a global IT and service powerhouse. Cities became tech hubs and a rising middle class emerged. At the same time, rural poverty, environmental issues, and political polarization presented ongoing struggles. Culturally, India retained its mosaic of languages, religions and traditions. Bollywood, cricket festivals, yoga, cuisines became global ambassadors of Indian identity. India's history is not just a series of dates and dynasties. It is a living continuum where ancient chants echo in modern temples. From the Indus scripts to digital setups, India's journey is one of resilience, plurality, and reinvention. Today, as the world's largest democracy and a rising global power, India stands at the crossroads of traditions and modernity, writing the next chapter in its millennia long story.